when we're looking at analyzing calls, when we're looking at analyzing speech and content and various other things, deriving meaning from speech is a onerously complex task. And a lot of the platforms out there will certainly look at it and say, okay, here are things that you can count. But what they don't do, or what, by breaking these down to simple things, as I say, speech is complex. There's a lot of stages to a conversation. The ebb and flow of what I would call sentiment transition, which is a call starts out well in good morning, how are you doing? Yeah, thank you very much, etc., etc. Can I help you? Yes, you certainly can. I need X or Y. And if you can't provide X or Y, so, well, why can't you provide X or Y? Well, it's not in our process. You need to go online and do something else. The conversation starts to go downhill. But more importantly, from a agent perspective and also from a customer's perspective, it's how you say what you say rather than what you're actually saying is important. And key point, in fact, if you look at two key people, so William Shakespeare, which I guess we all know, famous bard, famous for how speech is communicated, what sort of emphasis you can place on that, but also for people like famous actors. In here we cited Noel Coward, so he played, I think it was Mr. Bridger in The Italian Job, but his command of language, where emphases are put, hugely important, because that changes the meaning of what you're saying. Just how you say it, not what you're saying, but how you say it changes that meaning. For William Shakespeare, massively important. This goes back hundreds of years to the use of things like iambic pentameter and things like soliloquies. Again, massively important, because the rhythm with which you say something, how you say something, and I'm not going to start quoting Shakespeare and go to be or not to be, is it to suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune, etc. I'm not good at that stuff. But the point is that these things change meaning. And it's not just at the level of Shakespeare or the level of Noel Coward, it's everyday speech. And more importantly, if we're analysing everyday speech, things like simple word count, or was it said loud, or was it said quiet, absolutely is not enough. It really isn't. And here's an example. And this is nothing to do with my aunt. This is agent training that you can do. So from an agent training example, and what we're saying here is how you say something. The same word said 5 different ways carries a completely different meaning. And it's super important to understand that happens, where you place emphasis, where you place spaces, where you go silent, and how that silence occurs, what that silence occurs after. Or there are various other ways in terms of how you say things. So, I didn't kill my aunt, or I didn't kill my aunt. All these things, 5 different reasons for 5 different outcomes from exactly the same words. Now, if you put that into an AI platform, yes, it will record the words, but will it get the meaning? Can it get the meaning? And in some cases, absolutely yes, where you've got more advanced algorithms that really can read that tone, that spacing, that emphasis, hugely important. But if you're doing manual call listening and you've got to do a lot of it, then no, clearly not necessarily there, but super important. So I didn't kill my aunt, and nobody else did either. But the point is that if we look at this as a precursor to where we're going and the types of challenges we're facing, because we're looking at across multiple channels, we're looking across many thousands of clients, many thousands of interactions, many thousands of reasons. The way that I would say early speech analytics, or the first wave of analytics solutions has been created, are very much Gen 1 or Gen 2 type platforms. A lot of these are touted as AI, but they're absolutely not, because they take a huge amount of manual input. They take a lot of upfront building. And if you want to train and tune and various other things, that can be a huge expense. But from an operational perspective, these can be very, very complex things to do. It can be one size fits all, or they try to do a one size fits all approach. but really the intelligence of that platform is absolutely imperative.